think it's fair, as American citizens, that we should give up our right to bear arms and to protect ourselves merely because of people who are immoral or just don't have common sense to obey the law. Well, that's what gun control does. It takes away our right to bear arms. Gun control has a couple different meanings. It can mean a ban on one specific weapon or even all weapons, or it can mean a law that regulates how you carry your weapon, whether it has to be concealed or on the outside, or even where it's allowed into. Whatever the meaning of gun control is, it's against our constitutional right. Tonight I'll be quoting the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, Senator John McCain, as well as giving you some statistical data from the British Crime Survey. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution states, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." But gun control infringes upon that right. When gun control is implemented, the only people who lose their right is the law-abiding citizens, not the criminals. Senator John McCain once said, "We have a responsibility to ensure that criminals who violate the law are prosecuted to the fullest, rather than restricting the rights of law-abiding citizens." Gun control is a proven failure to fighting crime. Law-abiding citizens should not be asked to give up their rights because of criminals who ignore gun control laws anyway. Gun control prevents law-abiding citizens from protecting themselves, their loved ones, or even strangers. There have been many examples where law-abiding citizens who had permits to carry weapons prevented some mass shootings or even limited the effects of some mass shootings. An example is in 1998 at a middle school. It was held at a restaurant. This middle schooler came in to shoot up his classmates. The restaurant owner, a gun-carrying owner, had a shotgun. He actually prevented the student from shooting his fellow classmates, getting the gun from him and turning him into the authorities. Again, in 2012, a guy went into a congregation to shoot up the church. Because of a law-abiding citizen who had a concealed weapons permit and had his gun with him in church, he was able to prevent that mass shooting. Gun control will take away these rights and prevent law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. And in situations like this, it could be much, much more destructive with even more deaths. It is not the gun that decides to harm another human being, but the person wielding the gun, the criminal who uses the gun to break the law. Jeff Cooper, a U.S. Marine who is considered one of the foremost international experts on small arms rifles, once said, "The rifle itself has no moral stature, since it has no will of its own. Naturally, it may be used by evil men for evil purposes, but there are more good men than evil men. And while the latter cannot be persuaded to the path of righteousness by propaganda, they can certainly be corrected by good men with rifles." Regardless if gun control was a reality or not, criminals who want to break the law or harm others are going to harm them regardless if they had guns or not. In the UK, the British Crime Survey found that in England and Wales, there were 350 people a day that were harmed by knives. That's over 130,000 people per year. And this is just knife assaults. This doesn't include battery with bats or strangulation. This same survey stated in 2007, there were 2,164,000 violent assaults. Out of those assaults, 9,607 had a gun. That's 0.004%. It's not guns that harm people, it's people who will harm people. There is no way we can ever completely rid the world of crime, and implementing gun control is definitely not the best step. It actually may have the reverse effect and actually give the criminals a higher sense of security that they can't be injured or stopped because they know that law-abiding citizens don't have anything on them to protect themselves. They know for a fact that the people they're about to assault can't carry and protect themselves. They'll become more bold and actually follow through with their activities. While we may not be able to prevent crime, we can fight it, and we can deter it by making sure that these criminals know that we have the right to defend ourselves, and we will do so if need be. Rather than taking guns away from law-abiding citizens and making them victims of crime, guns should be allowed for self-defense for the person as well as for their loved ones. This way, we'll all be safer. Remember, a gun is an inanimate object which cannot think or act by itself. It's only when a criminal or such an immoral person decides to use that gun unlawfully that it becomes dangerous. Gun control takes away from our constitutional right to bear arms and for self-defense, and should not be allowed to happen. Thank you for your attention this evening. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.